Hello, my name is Anne and welcome to a Tobyknits Quilty Fun episode 18. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I like to talk about my favorite crafts. On Mondays I talk about knitting, Wednesdays it's about cross stitch, and Fridays it's all about the quilty fun. So today I have lots to tell you. I am in my basement now. This is my spot for sewing. I'm hoping this area will be a bookshelf type thing, sort of deep shelves for my fabric to go on, and my project bins. These are the things I am currently working on. So let's dive in and show you what this week brought. I was so excited. And I feel like this is another rabbit hole I might end up jumping down. But I am doing the block of the month, Duck Duck Goose. I think it's a block of the month. I think so. And this is getting run by Taylors Sewing and Quilting shop in Brockville, Ontario, which is one of my local quilting stores. And they started this, I feel like 2 months ago, but I was away at the time and I couldn't get it started. So anyway, long story short, I've now started it, and I had never done applique before, ever. So this was really new to me, and they did do a little video, like we got a Zoom call to show us how to do it. And I mean, I learned so much just from that one little Zoom call, you know, about the biggest thing that I learned, that if I can just pass this on to you, was mega for me, in that when you put your, so here's my piece that I appliqued on. And this is hand stitched, just with a running stitch. But I did the blanket stitch all around the edge. You can see sometimes I jumped off, but I don't care because I'm learning still. Just trying to make sure you got the needle in the right position before you turned, kind of thing. Obviously needle down, but not in the middle of a zag, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so I really have enjoyed doing this. There's that one, and there's also the one at the bottom. And I did orange for the feet and the beak, and then just the regular white for the rest of his body and the blanket stitch. And I just did the blanket stitch how it came on my machine. I didn't adjust the stitch length or nothing. I thought I'll just see how it comes out. At the beginning I thought it looked a little bit big, but then I thought, when I actually made the stitch length lower and shorter, I didn't feel that there was much difference. So I left it. So it's the stitch size and length that the other one was. And so there is this one at the bottom. And then in between, we've got these pinwheels, which were very interesting to do. I think I mentioned them in a previous Quilty Fun, and I actually think I showed a demo of it too, because instead of doing it the way I normally would do a half square triangle, they did it as one and cut. They went all around and then cut into 4 triangles, which is great. I mean, especially if you're doing all like 4 of the same color, if you know what I mean. So and then these were just plain blocks that were sewn together here all along, and then sewn into blocks of 4, and then all sewn together. And of course this was just, so it's really a big first block. I don't even know if you can see. Oh, there's the end. So it's a big first block. But anyway, the thing I was trying to tell you, I forgot where I was going with this, was so you you trace out your shape on some heat and bond, like fusible whatever. One side is like sticky, the other side is paper, and then so you trace it on the paper side, and then you put it on the wrong side of your fabric, and all of these designs are reversed so that when you put them on the wrong side, they end up being the way they're supposed to go. And then you iron it on, and then you put it on the front way to your actual piece. You center it where it's going to go, and you press it on again because the sticky is there after you've peeled it off. Anyway, you know how to use heat and bond. But here's the thing that I didn't know. When you're then doing your zigzags or blanket stitch or whatever you're doing around the edges, you need a stabilizer behind, because otherwise it puckers. And you know what I used? Parchment paper. So I grabbed a piece of parchment paper, like say, for example, for the duck here, the beak, and I just grabbed a piece this big, just tore it, put it underneath that area where the duck beak was, and then did my zigzag with the parchment paper stuck underneath it. And then all I did afterwards was tore it off. But it stopped all the puckering, and in some instances you might be able to see there's still little bits, of parchment paper stuck in these bits. I don't care. That's not going to make a big difference. But I did that on all of it, and it really made a big difference. Now, I forget what they used on theirs. Sorry, I got a phone call then. Sorry. I forget what they used on theirs. She did say you could even use photocopy paper. But I had parchment paper, and I figured it would be, you want something, the tissue is something easy to rip, and parchment paper was perfect. Anyway, here is block 1 of my Duck Duck Goose. So I'm hoping to get started on block 2, probably next week, because I have a lot going on this week. So the other thing I worked on was I have been doing a Cotton Cuts mini mystery kit, which is a smaller project than their bigger quilts are. And so I did block clue 4, and here was clue 4. So if you don't know what, and we had to make 4 of these. So if you don't know what Cotton Cuts is, it's a quilting company. And what they do is they design a quilt, they break it all into pieces, and then they send you a piece already cut, and all you have to do is put it together. But it's like a jigsaw puzzle, because you don't know what it's going to look like. Like, I have no idea what this is going to be used for, or where in the quilt or table runner or topper or wall hanging this is going to go. I don't even know what we're making. So the difference between the mini kits and the actual quilts is the actual quilts are usually 10 months, and you get a packet every month with your pieces in the mail. And you can pay monthly for it, which is what I typically do, because it's a lot easier than paying, you know, $200-300 for a quilt project. Because, I mean, let's face it, that's how much quilts cost us these days, right? By the time you had all the binding, the backing, the background, and all the rest of it. But not everybody wants to do that, and not everybody is sure that they can do that. Like, if they even, it's one thing to cut your own fabric. It's something else to have it come pre-cut. You get this little triangle with knobbies cut off, and you think, what do I do with that? So if you don't know, then they have started producing these kits, and you get all 6 clues in the mail at the same time. And they come in little packages like this. That's a clue number 4. And you get the instructions emailed to you at a certain time. So it was very exciting, and these were my colorways, and you always have to keep your card because it tells you what your the colors are that you're going to need, or the pieces as they've come. So if you still want some more information about these, I do have on a Tuesday for the past couple of weeks, I've been doing a sew along where you can see me actually sewing this. So you can go and look on Tuesdays, special Tobyknits Quilty Fun, and you'll see how I put these together. So I did that this week. And I also got in my actual regular Olympia, which has wound down now. So I finally got my Clue 9. These are the colors that I have done. I picked Dorothy because it's my mom's name. And I'm actually making this quilt for my dad because my mom passed 7 years ago this year, I think. Can't believe it's been that long. And so I want to make it for my dad. Anyway, this is the colors. And this was what our Clue 9 looked like. So I put that together this week when it came in the mail. So there are 2 of these, both the same. And I, again, don't know where it's going to go in the puzzle, right? You just get this and you get all the squares and the triangles and you just put them together with the instructions that come in. The instructions come in the package with this one because it's monthly. And so that was Clue 9. And here was the really exciting part of that. Clue 10 came in almost right after, because that one was really late for me because it's coming from the States and sometimes they take a bit longer to get here. But Clue 10 came, and Clue 10 is just the finishing. Look at all these cool little pieces I got. Like they're just like skinny, long. Where's this gonna go? And then, oh, a square. And some more long pieces. Bit thicker, this one, bit wider. And I want another one wider. And there's a bunch of them. And then there's this great big one. So, and don't forget, none of these we cut. These are pre-cut. So whatever this is, I can't even imagine where that's gonna go. Anyway, so that's all the pieces that we got. Oh, I think that might be the binding. So we might have to trim this one because I think that's the binding. But anyway, so these were all my pieces that came, as well as the instructions, if I can find them now, to actually put it together. You want to see? No? Oh, all right. Well, that's a, oh, you do want to see. Okay, so, what? I showed you. Were you not quick enough? Ah, look what it's gonna look like. So here's what happened. I've got a couple of pictures to show you in a wee video. So here is me taking out all my pieces that were all in bags, because every time I made a clue, I put it back in the bag it came in, so I'd be able to, and just put it in the bag and just put it in there so I knew where it was, because I wasn't sure how this whole thing was going to work. This is my first one. So then what I did was I took all the pieces out of the bags and labeled them with a piece of paper, just scribbled on the thing and put a pin on them and laid them all on the floor. Okay, so here's all my pieces labeled and laid out on the floor. And it's funny now when I look at it. So here's this one, Clue 3, which is the opposite of Clue 8, but it's the same thing. It's just so weird how some of them are all the same but different directions. And this is all the fabric that I got in the finishing in Clue 10. So these are all going to be the borders and stuff, I'm guessing. And of course, Yay, that's what it's gonna look like. Here is our Clue 10 directions. So I'm gonna start putting some of these bits together. How exciting! Then after that was done, I brought it told me what I had to do in the first part. It says to take this clue, so you can see right there where it tells you clue A or 1B, and here, this one was clue 3. Sorry, I can't see, it's not focusing. And then you had to sew those together and those together and so on. So that's what I did next. I got them all laid out on the table where I thought they were gonna go. And then I sewed them together. And this is what it looks like so far. And I'll tell you a little confession. I have a confession to make. Oh, I've already started to put the next piece on, one of the long skinny pieces. But here, oh my goodness, it's bigger than I thought it was going to be. It is, and I'm only making the small. Here is this one. So because you're a lot of times making 2 items at the same time, you can see where they have now been joined. And here's when I first put them together, and you might be able to see if you noticed on the still picture back a little bit, where I laid them out, I put them all the same way. So I had put this in the top corners and didn't realize that these had to be in the bottom corners. So the middle strip here, basically I had it upside down, and I'd already sewn one of them. So I had to unpick it. Jack came out. Jack came to visit. And so I had Jack for a little visit, and Jack came out and he helped me fix it. So, but hey, it doesn't matter. I mean, the beautiful thing about what I think is about quilting is if you make a mistake and you sew a wrong piece to a wrong piece or a wrong color to the wrong color, the seams are so small. It's not like a great big blanket or a curtain where you're actually unpicking this giant great big. Most of the time you're just unpicking a small piece, so it's not the end of the world. And I find it kind of almost relaxing sometimes to sit and unpick because it makes me slow down. So yeah, I'm super excited the way it's going. I plan this weekend to work on it some more. One of the things they did was they sent us this little, what's it called? Iron-on graphic that we can put on the back of our backing. Now, I didn't buy my backing yet because I wanted to see what the quilt looked like put together to then decide, and this is what I always do, to decide what color I'm picking from the main fabric that I want to showcase on the backing. And again, it depends on the binding too. So I need to make sure that it matches. And so then I will order the backing. So I never put my quilt together all in one go. I always finish the top, wait a bit, think about it, and then pick the backing, and then I put it together then. So the other thing so what do you think? So should I put this little iron-on thing in the corner, and I can put my name and the date and all that, and it's for my dad, right? The other thing they did at the beginning was they sent us in our packet, excuse me, a little sew for the gold. Because remember, this was Olympia, and it started when the Olympics started last year. Did they start last year, or was it? Yeah. Yeah, it was. Anyway, so what we had to do was, it was a little competition. And they sent us 5 pieces, 5 swatches. And they asked us to make what we thought was our take on the Olympic rings. And so this was what I had done. Needs to be ironed. It's been stored in the bag. So I took my pieces and I just made this. And so should I put that on the back of my quilt as well? Or should I make a cushion with this? Anyway, that's all I have for you today. And as usual, it's a 20-minute video or longer. So I hope you have a wonderful day. And it actually is, as I'm taping this, this actually is Friday morning. And I don't have Tristan today because we had him yesterday instead. So I have sewing day today, which is marvelous. And I thought I would just do this. Please like and subscribe if you're not already, and tell all your mates about this YouTube channel, because once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I think I can do live videos. So we can have quilting days or sewing, crochet day, cross stitch days, or knitting fun or something. Anyway, we can actually be together. So please give me some love. Okay, I gotta go.